Okay, so I know that using summons is fine, and yeah, it's cool to play the way you want. On the other hand though, there's using a summon because you want to beat a boss and it's your first time. Then there's using summons on every single boss fight you can just to trivialize the game. I agree that definitely, for some bosses, it's completely warranted. The dual godskins, fuck those guys. The dual gargoyles, fuck those guys. Both of those boss fights, I would 100%, if you use the Mimic, I do not care. They suck as boss fights. They shouldn't even be in the game. The fact that they are is fucking shocking, to be honest. Using the Mimic on there, I completely understand. Then I also get, like, if you're a newer player, using the Mimic on the harder bosses of the game, like Malekith, Millennia, fucking Radagon, Elden Beast, and one more Godfrey. Like, I totally get if you're a newer player using Mimics and using other summons on those guys, because those bosses are really, really difficult, and you've already come this far. It's an item in the game, go ahead. But if you are like a max level player and you already know how to beat everyone and you're just running around beating them repeatedly with the Mimics here, I don't see how that's fun, because the main enjoyable part of this game comes from the gameplay loop. And the gameplay loop is you lose to a boss because you suck and or don't have that good items. So you go and explore and get better at the game by beating other bosses and getting new weapons and upgrading those weapons, and then you come back to the original boss fight and then you actually beat the boss. Now that gameplay loop is incredibly fun, and I understand why people do it. It's one of the reasons why every single speedrun you see that's glitchless, people go around the map for an hour and a half before they actually fight bosses, because they grab every single item they need from an area and then start to fight bosses. But if you're just spamming summons on like New Game Plus 2 just to melt a boss, I don't see how that's fun, because it removes the point of the boss fights.